Hello, everybody. Gosh, summer holiday seems to have gone a bit quickly. We've only got a couple of weeks left. In fact, a week and a bit. Anyway, welcome to tonight's session. Tonight's session is launching the SENCO Diet, which I'm really excited to do with you. It's going to be full of acronyms because we love a good old acronym in the world of SEN. Diet itself has its own acronym to go with this, but I'm hoping you'll find it useful. So it is not going to help you lose any weight. Let's just be clear from the outset, it's not that kind of diet. It's also not one that's going to allow you to put weight on either if you're looking for that kind of diet. We're looking for one of those. But it is something that I hope you will find useful as a SENCO in your schools. And as my slide will tell you, there we go, it is all about feeding your professional practice one bite at a time. So let's get straight into it. I have got a dozen or so slides to go through just to share with you what it's going to be about in preparation for its real launch next week. Okay, so what is it about and what have we got coming next week? The diet stands for Delivering Inclusive Education Toolkit, because that's what we're all about, inclusive education. And I wanted this nice quirky way of sharing that information with you, because we've got lots of information about how to support you in your role, but it's how do we get that information across to you. And whenever we go onto a website, we're looking at menus, and my brain at one point, probably one of those 3 o'clock insomnia moments, went, oh, menu with a diet, why don't we do it like a food menu? So that's what we've got for you. We're going to have different menus coming up each month, and they're going to be full of resources, articles, websites that you can go to, recommended reads, all of those bits and pieces around a particular theme. So we have themed it for each month's menu, but it will, over the course of the year, build up into a really supportive library for you. So today's session is to introduce it to you, give you an idea of what to expect from it, and the good news that you don't need to do any calorie counting on it, because everything that's in there is probably going to be useful at some point. Okay, so what is it going to be? It's going to be a year-long piece of work, a year-long project for me, I suppose, is the best way of putting that. Did think about putting it all up in one go, and then thought, no, let's have that anticipation and excitement of what's coming next month. So it's going to come month by month to you in the first instance. Of course, if you're somebody who's joining us a little bit later on, then you'll see some previous months lurking there for you. But we also have some specials. So we've got 12 months of content, plus we've got 6 specials as well. So there's 18 menus across the course of the next year, 19 if you count the one that only lasts a week, which is the one that comes out next week. It's designed to help you save time, to keep you informed about what's going on. So another reason for only doing it monthly means I can stay on top of any changes, such as those that are coming to the curriculum, those that are to do with Ofsted, new SEN status that we're thinking about in the autumn term. I can stay on top of that and update the materials without them becoming outdated really quickly. They're going to give you some ready-to-use strategies, ready-to-use resources. I'm calling them recipe cards. And it's going to link your CPD to some real priorities. It's making that link between something that you've read with something that you can actually do. Why have I called it a diet? Well, like I say, it's the Delivering Inclusive Education Toolkit and a menu. A menu is a module of educational needs understanding. If you think they're good acronyms, wait until you hear some of the others, which I promise I won't do on this webinar, but I'll throw them in throughout the course of the year. It's a balanced approach. So just like when we go to the doctor and they tell us we need to lose some weight, and they talk about, are you having your 5 vegetables a day, or have you got plenty of colours on your plate, or 7 fruits, or whatever it is that they've decided is this week's buzz. It's going to be a bit of a balanced approach between knowledge, skills, and practical tools. I think there's lots of knowledge information out there for all of us, but actually what we need sometimes is just something that we can pick up and go with. I don't need the knowledge behind it. I just want to know, how do I solve this problem? Give me a solution for it. I'll go and pick up the knowledge a bit later on. I'll go and do the reading around it. So we're aiming to give you a bit of a balance on those, but at the same time to help you develop your own skills, because, and I'm becoming more and more aware of this, there's lots of you that ask for particular things. And certainly in teaching, we find a lot with new teachers coming in. They expect everything to be handed to them. I'm not saying SENCOs are always like that, but teachers certainly expect everything to be handed to them. And that's all well and good, but who's going to be there in the future to generate these things? There is a skill set that goes with it. So hopefully we're going to build knowledge, skills, and those practical tools at the same time, so that when people like me have reached retirement, there is somebody to pick up the gauntlet and carry on, because you've got those skills, that knowledge, that understanding, and your own toolkit to actually support individuals with. They're flexible portions, so you can have bite-sized learning opportunities, I'll go into these in a moment, or full plate comprehensive resources. We've even got sharing platters lurking in there. And then there's something for every appetite. So if you don't want to spend hours reading something, then we've got some very short articles for you and a couple of bullet points. And then we've got some longer, more in-depth articles, or we've got a link to a website or something else that kind of suits everybody. And there may even be at some point, some things do not lend themselves to a document, there may well be some videos that sit in there as well. So trying to satisfy different learning preferences. I'm not going to say learning styles because they're learning preferences, but also those time constraints that we have too. How's it going to work? Well, as I said, we've got 12 monthly themes plus 6 special menus, 7 if you count next week as well. And I've kind of tried to make them link to what goes on throughout the year, but they're not directly linked to it. That said, you might be in March and you're looking at something and think that the September menu is useful. That's absolutely fine. So please don't ask me for the March menu in September because it won't be ready yet. But you could pick and choose from the different menus as appropriate, like you would in a restaurant. It's got a very consistent format, as you will see in a moment, so you know exactly what to expect and where to find the information. We've got the varied formats within that. So we have got the webinars, we've got chef specials, which are live webinars like this. We've got articles, we've got handouts, takeaways, doggy bags, practical resources to support you. And then, like I say, we've got that flexible engagement. So you can just dip into it for little bits, or actually maybe you're deciding you're having a pig out day and you're going to go for the whole lot. Giving it the structure, there's no rigidity there. We're not asking you to do every single thing that's presented on the menu. And to be fair, a normal month's menu, so starting from September, has got at least 24 articles lurking in there. So you're not going to be going in there going, oh, I've got to read 24 pieces of information. You might go, actually, I just want a starter, I want a main course, and I want a drink. You only want 3 things out of there. So that's absolutely fine. Or you might look at it and think, oh, this is really useful. I'm going to use this. I'm going to go through the whole lot. I'm going to build my own CPD session from it, whatever works for you. What have we got in there then? So we've got starters. Starters are your essential knowledge, and in this particular case for August, it's going to be student profiles to set the foundation. So what do we really need to know? So if you've ever needed a glossary of terms for whatever that theme is that month, that's where you're going to find it. You're going to find it in the starter. I say key terminology, anything essential that we really ought to know about. We've got our main courses, and I will talk about those in a moment because they're actually split into 3 different types of main course, but they're basically things that you can do, things that you can put into place straight away, and they've got a bit more information that sits behind them. We've got our side dishes, and they are SENCO support tools and resources, so the things that we can use to support those, and they support those main dishes. So it's usually very targeted. So we might have an article about writing pupil passports, and then we might have a side dish that suggests some strategies and ways of actually doing that. Okay. Our sorbet, because transition is one of those things that we find transcends across everything and is relevant to every age group, whether it's a phase transfer or a student coming into us mid-year. Transition is just so important that it's actually got its own section. So we've got a sorbet, because of course that's what you use to transition from one course to another. We've got the sorbet, which is very much focused on transition as related to the theme. We've got our desserts, and desserts are definitely something sweet. So that's going to be your survival tips, and it's going to be your time-saving tools. What can we use to support ourselves? We've got our drinks. Drinks keep the communication flowing. So we've got communication strategies, networking opportunities. We've got mocktails and cocktails, soft drinks, hot drinks. You'll find out what they are, but just be prepared to giggle when you read some of them. We've got takeaways, and I'm going to call those our premium resources. But you might also have a doggy bag, which is something that is given to you at the end of a webinar, for example. And then, like I say, the chef specials, which are our live sessions and the exclusive content for you. In terms of those main courses, so we have 3 different types of main course. We have got I'm not sure why they're not actually on there. My brain obviously went when I was doing this. We have our light bites. So light bites are small bits of things, so something quick and simple. We've got our full plates, so a bit more in depth about that particular thing that we're working on. And then we've got sharing platters, and sharing platters are articles that are written, which is something that's relevant to SEN, but is actually something that is shared across multiple departments. So I'm just pausing slightly because my computer's told me I'm offline, which is not very helpful. I'm just going to ignore it and carry on. So yeah, we've got those 3 different elements to main courses. That gives us 9 usually articles lurking within there, so 3 within each of those. Takeaways are premium downloadables, so we are going to, sorry, even if you are a member, they will be something that we charge additional for, simply because they are that additional premium content is probably the best way of describing it. It's something that you can download. It's something that's going to be adaptable. It's something that you can personalize. Whereas a doggy bag is something that's free for you to take away. So quite a lot of our webinars will have doggy bags at the end of them with something that you take away from our webinar, and the chef specials in there as well. Oh, there we go. There we've got my light bites. So quick practical fixes if you need something immediate and actionable. Gavin's running down, so I think my internet has gone down.
No, your internet hasn't gone down. I just want to say, takeaways, members get them for free.
Oh, do they? Thank you.
Bye.
Apparently takeaways members, you get them for free. I have no idea what's going on sometimes. Light bites are shareable, so you might use those in a SENCO newsletter that you're sharing with your staff. You might use it in a quick 5-minute meeting. And they're things that you can action straight away. They're not things that you've got to go away and do lots of work for. Full plates, as I said, focused content. So take those elements with a bit more detail. You might want to share them in a longer staff meeting, perhaps. They're designed to have a whole school impact. And they're also designed to build that capacity within your team, so expanding that knowledge base. And then our sharing platters, like I said, recipes. Remember, every child is a part of education. Those are our bigger pieces. There's something that perhaps is not just for SENCO. It is something where perhaps you've got to involve 3 heads of department to actually implement it, or maybe it's something that you need to work with your SLT on. So it's a shared responsibility. That's not to say SEN isn't a shared responsibility of everybody across everything, but we all know that some things are going to fall on us for us to do, and some things we can delegate to other people, and some things we kind of need lots of brains in there to do it. Makes me think I'm going to be serving something very strange for dinner. Anyway, that's what a sharing platter is designed for. Our desserts, those little sweeteners, so time-saving templates are lurking in there, digital tools that you might use to support things, and practical extras as well. So any professional treats that save you time and energy, just light boosters, if you like, a sweet treat. The nice little cherry at the end. Our drinks menu. So we have got cocktails, which are books, so they're the real thing. We've got our mocktails, which are videos, webinars, websites, and any visual resources. We have got wine, which is our resources that we think might support you with that theme. We've got spirits, which are podcasts or audio resources, because I always make a joke about the fact I can't stand podcasts, because to me they're disembodied voices. They're like ghosts talking at me. I find it quite spooky. So spirits for podcasts. Hot drinks, which are your networks, your forums, and your communities for that particular theme. And then software is our soft drinks. So a tech solution that you might use to support that theme as well. Okay. How is this going to help you? It's going to give you that professional flow. It's hopefully not going to overwhelm you, because it is a menu. You're a bit full that week. Don't need that bit of the menu. Move on. You can access what you need when you need it, any month of the year. I have tried to align it with the SENCO year, but like I say, things come up. So if you want to use something in March instead of September, that's absolutely fine. But it's going to reflect those changes as well. So when we get a new code of practice and a new SEN law or a new curriculum come out, or any of those other changes that are being proposed, it's going to be reflected within those menus. And it also means that we know which menus we need to go back and change, which resources we need to go back and adjust if necessary. Hopefully it's going to have a whole school impact for you, so it's not just for you. You can use it with other people as well. And hopefully it's going to be time efficient as well, so saving you that planning and preparation time, giving you some ready to use resources that you can put in there. What to expect each month from us then? So we're going to give you a very transparent timetable, our menu, which will show you where the new resources will be available each month and let you plan what you're going to do. It's going to be aligned to that workload, so the typical SENCO workload cycle, but transition is going to be in every one of our themes, so it's going to go all the way through, not just in July. A flexible format, and then that progressive development. So what you will find is that some of the content builds on itself month on month. One of the ones I'm thinking of is, I know that we've got a menu that is designed around communication and interaction, but then I know that actually there's a future menu that is also quite heavy communication and interaction, and the same with cognition and learning. So those two menus are not going to be the same, but they're going to have content where one builds on the other. So you might, if you're in May looking at the content, you might look at it and think, oh, I need something a bit more basic. You go back, you'll see the October content has probably got the more simplified version. So let's have a look at what we've got in the different months. So in September, we're going to be looking at digital foundations. So we're looking at the tech solutions and what we call inclusive readiness. So is your school digitally ready, inclusive ready? In October, we're supporting cognition and learning, but we're also looking at data. So how do we use data, and what is data used for, and what are the most efficient ways of using data? In November, we're looking at that communication and interaction. December, we've got this idea around creative, seasonal, light touch, inclusive practice, and a bit of health and well-being in there as well. January, we're going to be doing promoting SEMH and emotional regulation, and we're also going to do legal. And you might be thinking, why am I not doing legal in October? That's because we know that the new legal framework is going to come out in September, October, November time, but we don't know when. We need time to actually read it, digest it, literally, and work out what we're going to do with it. By January, we'll have a better picture of that. But also, any change that's coming in is not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a phased change anyway. So January felt like a good time to put that legal stuff in there. February is physical and sensory stuff, and a bit on EHCP and multi-agency working. Coming up throughout the rest of next year, just because we have planned it for the whole year, March, we have got embracing neurodiversity and diverse thinking. April, we have got advanced cognition and learning. So you would notice it follows on from one we've already done. We're revisiting it. We're going to build on it. But we've also got something in there on staff development and CPD. May, we have got our UDL. So UDL is Universal Design for Learning, and it is becoming a more common phrase within English vocabulary. In America, it's been there for a while, but it's certainly becoming something we need to be even more aware of now. So looking at inclusive practice and whole school inclusive planning. June is that's supporting transitions, because it is a big thing in June, and preparing for change and looking at impact and celebrating. But it's also, as I said, built in throughout every month anyway. It's just that we're going to focus on it in June. July, we've got showcasing our impact. So that might be looking back at data again. How do we demonstrate it? And if you attended any of the webinars in the summer term in July, you will know I did one about having a look at your data, celebrating your data, working out what we do at the end of the year with information. And we're also going to look at reflective planning in there as well. And then in August, because you shouldn't be working in August, but we know that you all do, we're going to do well-being and sustainable practice for ourselves. I said to you that we've got some specials as well for you. So I've got 6 specials throughout the year. First one is actually next week, and it is on plans, provisions and passports, all the P's. So it's a prefix menu. It's not got everything. There's not 24 articles in this one. It's just got a couple of examples of main courses and a sorbet and a starter and a couple of drinks in there. So it gives you a bit of a taster of what's to come. In October, we're going to do the Halloween special, which is focusing on Ofsted and inspections, because what else would you put for a Halloween special? Christmas special is going to be about presents and presents, and that is to do with reward systems. So what are reward systems for? Why are we using them? And is presents more important than present, giving somebody a gift? February, also within that one, so talking about rewards, but also within that, hoping to include something from that parental evidence of parents sitting staring at their phones rather than actually engaging with their child. Presents and presents. February, we've got our Valentine's special, which is celebrating inclusive practice, because we like to give our big cuddle in February with our own conference, so there will be something there in the February special. April is our Easter special, so it's going to be about reflection, looking back, a spring term reflection. And then in July, we're going to have a summer barbecue, the end of year planning and planning for the next year. Where can you access all of this? So you're looking at the Sensible SENCO website. It's all going to be on there for you. There are some lovely menus for you to click and access the menus. No complicated logins, just your normal login to get into there, and straightforward access to information. It's going to be archived on there, so you'll always be able to access it throughout that year. It's not going to disappear. And as I keep saying, if you're in March and you need September, it's going to be there for you. You can click and find that, and that flexible timeline links to that too. 2 more slides from me. So if you don't have a Sensible SENCO membership already, this is a good excuse to get your school to sign up for one, because we've just planned a year's worth of CPD for you. And it just gives you everything in there. Share that information. So, you've got your membership, great, but who can you go and share that with? Who can you go and tell about this? Get them involved as well, because of course, the more of you that are members of Sensible SENCO, the more collaborators and writers I can get to produce even more content for you. But I can't do it all on my own, so I do need to pay people for it. The only way I can do that is if you're members. And then the taste test. So just try one taster from this month's menu when it comes out next week, and experience the difference that it makes. So I have got a August chef special next week, which is on that plans, provisions, profiles, passports, whatever you want to call them. It begins with a P, each your P's, which we are going to introduce the August menu. And then just that thank you. So a couple of reminders there. Remember, it's quality over quantity. So yeah, I could go and find some of this resource on Tez website, but it isn't always good quality over there, and you're paying for each individual resource, and sometimes by the time you've paid for, let's say, a month's worth, 24 articles, you will discover that you've paid a lot more than you would have done in a Sensible SENCO membership. Regular nourishment, it's your top up your professional fuel, helps you prevent burnout and keeps you energized. And it's your personalized menu. You get to pick and choose what you want from that menu. So if you're thinking, yeah, I know everything I need to know about sensory circuits, then don't choose that. Go, yeah, I have that every time I come to the restaurant. I'm going to go for something different this week. I want the squid, whatever squid is. That's an acronym used in English lessons. So yeah, go for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I've August is written, September is written, October is written, the Halloween special is written. Can't wait to share that one with you. And we're just starting our work on the November and December content. And we've just got some extra collaborators on board to provide some of that as well for you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how you use these resources in your school to support yourselves and to support your professional development. Just going to flick the screen off of that one so that it's on this one, make sure it's on the right one, and say thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing some of you next week's session on those plans, profiles, passports, provisions, anything that begins with a P. Eat your greens. I hate greens. Ugh. Need to click the end button. Thanks, guys. Take care.